showdown game, ladies and gentlemen. This is the best of 5 sets. Your referee in charge is Hazel.
So, Harry there, the referee, and on the 11th day of Christmas, the O2 gave to me a game of darts twixt Ben from Hearts and Tennessee's Chaney. Paul, happy Christmas. It's still not over yet. There's another day or two left.
I don't get to work with many wordsmiths anymore, Mr. Gwynn, but that was fabulous.
So, there he is, the youngster, 29 years of age, from Stevenage, near Stevenage anyway, Woolmer Green in Hertfordshire. I said, where's that? He said, near Stevenage. I said, well, we've all heard of Stevenage, but we've not all heard of Woolmer Green. And the other fella from Harrison in Tennessee. That's very near. I asked him, where is it by? He said, Chattanooga. There'll be a choo-choo or two going through this game, no doubt.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Ben Hazel fares on his debut. I was talking to Tony O'Shea a little bit about Ben, and he said that he had a 5-year plan when he started playing the tour about 12 months ago, and he didn't expect to qualify for a World Championship so soon, but he did so through the qualifiers, and he's got himself a game against Chainsaw.
I said, what do you know about the American? He said, nothing. I said, would you prefer to play somebody you don't know or prefer to play somebody you know? He said, I'd rather play somebody I don't know. He said, and I don't want to know anything about him. I'm going up there to play my game.
140.
He has made a bit of a name for himself on the stage already. I think this fella in the World Darts Trophy, Chaney, I think that's where he made his TV debut, isn't it?
Yeah, he had a pretty decent run there, and started to get a little bit more confidence. Now, Ben Hazel there has tactically used the board perfectly, using the 19s first from 306. Gets himself to a finish. This is a decent quality leg to start us off. We got a 170 yesterday, Quinny.
Yes, you were in the commentary box. I haven't had a 170 yet, Paul. Either in my own game, which lasted about 400 years, or in this tournament so far. Beautiful darts from Chaney. He certainly gets rid of them smartly, doesn't he? And now Hazel for 85.
Tops it is. Great first leg. Oh, that's flattened out a bit. It might be slightly awkward. Left side of the bed should be favoured.
65.
And Chaney has a great chance to steal a throw against Hazel to start us off. Went for the treble 14, but now it's got to be 17 tops. Tops for the first leg. Just the width of a wire away.
Well, they both come close, although Hazel's second dart was far from convincing. Let's have a go at double 10. Move in an inch to the left. Well, got a different ruler than the one I've got here. Oh, yes. Maybe not.
Second leg is Joe to throw first. Game on.
Well, Hertfordshire Darts has seen some great players over the years, especially in this championship. The West brothers,
81.
Tony and Steve. Steve West, of course, still playing world-class stuff. But when you talk about Stevenage in Hertfordshire, there's only one name comes to mind, and that's the great Dennis Ovens, who represented
85.
England on many, many occasions.
Yeah, gotta say, we've talked, Tony and I, about people who were great floor players who never quite did it on the telly, and I think
60.
you'd have to say Dennis Ovens is foremost amongst them. He certainly was a terrific performer. Great pal and all, Dennis became.
He was at the forefront of terrible dart shirts as well. I mean, when a certain high street shop closed, I'm sure Dennis had no idea where to get his shirts from. Some of them were terrible.
140.
These ones are okay.
Mr. Ben, I said, really, it should be Big Ben, of course, but somebody's already taken that one. And he said the man who said I should become Mr. Ben is a great friend of yours and mine. I'm not seen him for yonks and yonks and yonks. Left-handed player, Lionel Sams.
I haven't seen live for ages.
78.
So if you're watching Lionel, enjoying, he might even be in the audience for all I know, but Ben's made a decent start. He won the first leg.
85.
May not win the
So you've got
second.
142.
Advantage the American, Chaney from Chattanooga. Or as near to it as makes no difference. Double 11. Brilliant,
Yes,
brilliant
that's
finish.
the second
Bye,
leg.
bye, bye. That's
Third leg is
great
Benson
stuff there
first.
from the
Game on.
Tennessee man. 1-1 in legs.
How good was that? Clean as a whistle. Didn't even use the
140.
first dart as a guy who just went to the left of it. And you can tell the way that Joe Chaney is walking around this Indigo stage, he is confident today.
84.
Well, Chattanooga Choo-Choo, that was a steamer, all right. That was a belter. And how many players, they want 142. They've got the one treble 20. They think, right, I'll stick
100.
there. And everybody likes double 11, even though they don't like singling it. It's in a nice part of the board, isn't it?
Yeah. Love double 6 and double 11 straight down the
59.
line.
Yeah.
You get the line right, 9 times out of 10 you're going to hit that double, unless you just drag it too high or too low. But most of the time, you get players who love the left and right side of the board. But
140.
Ben Hazel, for me, has played very strongly at the start of this match. Gotta say, John, is Joe Chaney a
42.
Tennessee Titans fan in the NFL? Because if he is, he's going to be feeling cock-a-hoop today after the Titans took out the Patriots in the NFL playoffs last night.
Well, I know for a fact.
49.
He said, I don't have any interest in any sport other than darts. So there's your answer, Paul.
Oh, well. 180 coming in for Chaney. Needed to get the full boat to leave himself on a finish, because Hazel has been relentless on the scoring phase in this leg. Single 8 leaves 64. And because Chaney's not on a finish, he didn't have to go 14 ball. He just lines up the double.
Yeah, hold your throw, and you never know. That's obviously an old adage, which Hazel,
83.
if he applies
Then
it,
you require 32.
and to hold his throw. There
Yeah.
it is. Looks sound, looks secure, looks super cool.
Throw first. Game on.
Doesn't strike me as the kind of player who's making their big stage debut. Ben Hazel looks like he's been here for years. Accomplished stuff.
57.
I agree. 29 years of age, that's the year. He was born the same year that Phil Taylor, at 29, won his first world title. Who knows?
Well, PDO World Champions at the start of decades, it's only ever won by greats. So if you talk about 1980, it was won by Bristow.
Yeah.
1990 was won by Phil Taylor.
Yeah.
2000 was won by Ted Hankey, who obviously won this title twice. And 2010 was won by Wolfie. So 4 greats of the game. Who's going to add their name to that list?
85.
That's right, 2010. I think Wolfie beat Chizzy that day, wasn't it?
I remember where I
Yeah.
was. That was a great game of darts.
59.
And this is a great game so far. Chaney is a wonderful 1-4-2 finish. Hazel very clean and clinical finishing, and some decent scoring again. Still putting in the 140s to gain an advantage here. He may not have to hold his throw here.
140.
Break the throw, win the set, go again.
145.
Not going to get the 145 out. Chaney will return. Only just
81.
shy on that second treble 20, which would have left double 12. But Shanghai on 20s for Chaney is not going to go. And Hazel has
80.
a wonderful chance to win this set right here.
64.
Another one of those. And he's hit this before. You can see the very point. You can see the little bit of
Joe, you require 40.
the mark there that was made by Hazel's double 16, but not on that occasion.
Yeah,
And there
so
it
it's
is.
going
That'll
to
make a
the
mark in the board for Chaney. 2 legs all.
Game on.
I think every leg with throw so far. That's true. Although that one was threatened, wasn't it?
Very much so. Hazel has had one set dart gone begging.
100.
And you mentioned that Chaney's not really a sports fan. Well, I look at his shirt and I think, well, maybe on some level he's a Dundee United fan.
I doubt whether he's ever heard of them somehow. Although, this man is definitely a Spurs fan. I said, oh, you'll support Stevenage, won't you? He said, well, not really. Simply because his dad
85.
supported Spurs. So he spent the next 5 minutes talking football.
Yeah, a lot of sports affiliations are hereditary.
Yes, you're right. Yep.
Not in my family. All my family were Man U fans. I chose Newcastle United.
Yeah, good old Cumbria. Long way they've come down here to watch this, and well, they might.
104.
Well, when the scores are tied in a one-leg shootout for the first set, and Hazel has just thrown arguably the best dart he's thrown in this match so far to get that 140.
41.
Really forceful. He's in a great position to hold, like you say, Gwynny, for the 3rd consecutive time and take the set.
He's in there again, and although that's a stray dart, he's going to have a decent visit. 51 left. Well, to take the first set, and he'll certainly be having a go at it. Maybe even 2, although he'd prefer to just get it out of the way first.
105.
11 tops, or do you think
51.
19 double 16?
Looks like the 19 for me, but he's gone for the 11 and gone wildly low.
It's 27 scored, 24 left.
Yeah, double 12 to finish the set.
Yeah.
Well, he went his way. He didn't intend that for one moment, but he got one dart of the 3. Dead on, dead correct, and that was the double 12. 1 set up.
I've just seen a sign in the crowd which has confirmed that I've got a little bit of egg on my face, because it says Ben
45.
Hazel, good luck, Bedfordshire darts, not Hertfordshire. You might be from Hertfordshire, but he might play for
Bedfordshire. He plays
Bedfordshire.
for Bedfordshire. He does play for Bedfordshire, he told me, yes. But he is from Hertfordshire.
We'll just say he plays for the Shire. Yeah, Chaney's got a lot to think about now. And when he saw this draw, he will have thought, I'm glad I didn't get someone who's got experience, but sometimes it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. And for me, so far, I'm very impressed with Ben Hazel.
I am, Paul. He looks very, very solid. And the thing is, as you've already alluded to, you wouldn't think this was his debut. You don't get many better 180s than that. He could have put another 3 over the top of those, I think. Well done, Chaney.
You're, of course, from the Northwest, very proudly, Gwynny, and
60.
Ben Hazel kind of reminds me of a very young Peter Hudson.
Yes. Well, he's from the Manchester area, where Peter Hudson from Eccles. Yeah, he's...
47.
He once, on his TV debut, he did a 10-darter. I remember that. I think it was against Roland Sholton in the UK Open.
Yeah, it's fair to say that Peter had some crowd participation in that match, because Bolton's not too far from Eccles. Well, this isn't too far away from where Ben Hazel's from. It's not that much of a drive, but it's a bit of a flight for Joe Chaney to take.
100. Ben, you require 144.
They're serving up a treat here. 144, twice as many as Chaney needs. And he can't check it out now, but 74 scored, 70 left. 52
92.
when he goes. If he goes,
Joe,
Chaney's turn
72.
for 72.
16's possibly another for one dart at tops. Oh,
Yeah, so
right in the
it's
left-hand door as well.
Did you notice how he just took that
Game.
little bit of extra aim? And Credit to Chaney there. Brilliant stuff.
6th consecutive hold of throw in this match. Could it be one of those games where only one break of throw will be enough to break your opponent?
45.
Yes, and I was saying upstairs in the practice area that we were watching two players bull off. In fact, the two lads who've just been on stage, Wayne Warren and his Australian opponent, and I was saying actually in these kind of games where if every leg of the match goes with throw, you got to bull off again in the deciding leg when it goes right down to that single. And that's why some players, and Phil Taylor in particular, was prepared to give the darts rather than take the darts, knowing that in the final set you had to win by 2 clear legs.
Yeah, that's a good point in set play. And not only do you get the honour of throwing first at the start of the match, but you also get the honour to throw for the bull
58.
at the end of the match if you do have to go to a one-leg shootout as well.
Yeah. Well, great sight. That's what the players see, or certainly those behind.
140.
He is a good player. He really is. He hasn't just stepped onto that stage as a novice that we might never hear of again.
92.
Some people just take to it, don't they? They don't see it as that much of a challenge. They just get on with what they're doing. Don't think too much. Ben Hazel on through here. Bad first start, but a really good recovery.
Yes, 38 left. And Chaney chasing. Well, chasing well. Now, which way would you go here, Paul?
I'd split this. And he's done exactly what I would do. He's executed it though on that stage. More assurance of how good Mr. Ben is.
Game on.
Well, there's only been one dart so far at a double in this match that could have broken throw. A double 16, which he missed, Hazel. Every other game has gone what I call legitimately with throw. And, well, that one, of course, did, but it's the only leg that's been threatened by a darter to double to break the throw. And I always think that's an indication of a darn good game between two darn good players.
Yeah, very good game, I think. And that dart that Hazel had to break the throw was not far away. It was only a width of a wire away. And only won 180 in the match so far, as the stats tell us. But I don't think that tells the story. There's been a lot of good quality stuff in between.
85.
Well, let's start looking for weaknesses somewhere along the line as the game develops. And Hazel twice in the last couple of visits has shaken his head quite visibly when he's strayed into the 5. He's got to keep that concentration up. And Mr. Ben,
I like the technique of Ben Hazel. It's very solid. The lines are good. When that forearm comes up towards the eye line, it's a nice straight line, and the follow through is really nice and relaxed. But it's more of an old school throw from Joe Chaney, that almost knife hold of the dart, and he throws it flight first and lets it correct itself in the air. That's why it lands quite flat. Well, one thing that Ben Hazel has showed me in this game more than anything is good intention of tactics. On 233 there, he gets the single 20, then he goes 18s, and then he has the 25 out to leave 170. He missed it, but the intention was good.
Yeah, he's thinking well ahead, isn't he? 2 moves ahead, if you like, in terms of the finishing numbers required. That's a timely 140. It's not been his best leg by a long chalk. Now then, double 11. He's already hit it once today. Now a chance at 140 has earned him the right to break the throw.
He can't wait to get to the hockey, and he leaves that favoured double 16 again. And he hasn't missed it this time. First break of throw in this match. Ben Hazel continues to improve and impress. And
Game on.
his entourage love it.
And it was that penultimate visit, for my money there, Nico, that made it for him. Just put the pressure on his opponent sufficiently. Double 11, you fancied him to get it, didn't you? But anyway, it's Hazel ahead.
You're never out of a leg until the referee calls it. And Ben Hazel showed that he has some inner belief that if he puts that pressure on with that 140, then he might get a shot. I think the word I would use to describe this fella right now is uncomplicated. And in darts, sometimes that can be a very good word.
And that leads me into... I'll just let him finish. When I asked him which player he most admires, which player does he most want to be like, he gave it quite a bit of thought.
27.
Unlucky, very unlucky. But then he said, a man who's given me more good advice than any other, Scott Mitchell. And you can see the way he plays Scott Mitchell there, can't you? Unhurried,
100.
concentrative.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Because one thing that hasn't flinched in this game is the expression of Ben Hazel. And that's exactly what Scott does.
Indeed.
And I'm sure that's what Scott will do when he plays in this tournament. But the young man he's playing against, I'm sure will try and make him flinch.
Well, I know footballers watch this game. I said, who's your favourite player? I said, I've no doubt you're going to say Harry Kane. He said, no, Ledley King. He said he gave his full career to Spurs. What a player. Now, what a visit this is. Well, if Ledley King is watching, he's one of your biggest fans, and he's just in a 180.
Well, what would Alan Partridge say there?
60.
Back of the net.
36.
Well, to finish it off, it's double 18. Decent guide that if he wants the bottom portion. Double 9.
Oh.
18.
But.
Joe, you require 113.
Well, 113 for Joe Chaney to get his second ton plus out, which he needs to save the set. Treble 18 and tops. Oh, he's just next door. Doesn't get a shot now.
39.
Ben Hazel returns for the set on double 9. Does he go for this or does he split Gunny?
Well. He's going to go his way. Fancies his chances of double. Nine, gets it, wins the set. Scott Mitchell will have drummed into him, if that's the right expression. Keep going, you don't win it until the final dart goes in. And he's up against a formidable opponent. This fella, Joe Chaney from Tennessee. I know that his partner Sandy is watching. He said she'll be watching, and by one means or another, Sandy, I know you'll be hoping that your man Joe can get back into this game. And he's got the ability to, I'm sure.
Yeah, very much so. He doesn't have a massive amount of experience playing long format darts, so it'll be interesting to see how he rebounds after the break. But in the break, Gwynny, I had a text from our friend John Henderson from up in northern Scotland after my Dundee United remark, and he said, come on, Nico, you've got to mention the fact that Huntly, the team from his small town in between Aberdeen and Inverness, also wear black and gold. Yes. So there you go.
And Huntley playing the Highland League, yes. And I do watch Highland League football when I'm at Turriff, which I shall be in about 8 weeks' time.
Great place.
It is a lovely part of the world, and Huntley's a lovely place too. Good old Hendo. Hope you're enjoying it, mate.
Well, if Chaney is going to win this match from this position, he's going to have to start breaking the throw of Ben Hazel, which he has failed to do so far. I've had a few tweets from other people as well, and one from my other Scottish friend, Ewan Hislop. Great dart player in his own right. He is a big fan of the technique of Ben Hazel. I echo that sentiment, Ewan.
83.
That's 83, and it could easily have been 140. Good darts, not necessarily rewarded. Looks good though, this visit.
99.
To leave 68, that's dead easy to work out, isn't it?
Should be. Oh, just shy on that first 60 for Chaney. Gets the first 60 and he will scare the second dart for the double 19 shot. But lays up pretty well, but it's all down to Ben Hazel on throw again. And it'll be one dart at double. That double is chosen to be double 16. Inside this time, and an invitation for Chaney to break for the first time.
Yes, will he be back to have another go, or is this a breaker throw? Tops he wants. The last time he deliberated slightly, he got it. This time not. Now double 8.
Oh, he's lucky he didn't bust that one. Now he's covered the whole thing. Needs to go left and high.
No score.
He went left, but he didn't go high.
No, he didn't. And I rather think this is going to be the breakthrough for Chaney. It is. So, in terms of breaks, it's one apiece now. And that's a vital one for Chaney. An absolutely vital one. He so needed it.
Well, other things they do well in Tennessee, of course.
98.
Apart from the Tennessee Titans. They've got amazing barbecue in Tennessee. They're noted for it. And I hear they do a pretty good brand of bourbon too.
All right, I'll take your word for it. And if I'm ever there, that's what I know. That's what's known as short distance information from you, Paul, sitting next to me. But I'll take note of it.
Well, I've got friends who live in Tennessee. My friend Jeremy, who works in the wrestling industry. That's very much a big thing in that part of the United States. And of course, music is a big thing in Tennessee too, with places like Nashville and Memphis.
95.
And in the form of Joe Chaney, pretty good at darts as well.
Oh, with a nickname like Chainsaw, he's trying to do the Tennessee Chainsaw Massacre in the last 3 sets here, not the Texas one.
He'll be looking to cut Hazel down to size, that's for sure. 170, the lad from Hertfordshire needs. 41. The Bedfordshire County player.
Then you require 170.
Chaney did the right thing in utilising one of the singles that he needed, but he needed to go 17s there because the bed was covered. 170, he got one of the requisite trebles, 81. Did Ben Hazel, but that final dart has just offered a little bit of hope to Joe.
Yes, it's debatable whether that 81 was really quite enough as Joe, he wants
92. Ben, you require 89.
I wasn't sure if he needed the bull for the out there.
That's right.
Now,
double 5.
Definitely needs double 5. Oh, wonderful break back from Ben Hazel. And he looks as happy as the caricature on the back of his shirt.
Game on.
Not one bead of sweat on the brow of Ben Hazel. Cool as the proverbial cucumber.
From the cucumber school. There are lots of them, aren't there?
Not really a fan of cucumbers, but I don't mind being as cool as one.
I just like... Oh, there's a cool shot from Chainsaw. 180, his second of the match.
I think they do pretty good hot sauces in Tennessee as well, and that shot was pretty hot.
Yeah.
One more set will get the job done for Ben Hazel. It needs to be 3 straight sets for Chaney from here if he wants to survive and get a game with Gary Robson.
Gary plays on Tuesday, doesn't he? So the other day he said, when you play, he said Tuesday. The other lads were around, we were having a bit of a laugh. I said, oh, that's the longest you'll have stayed in this tournament for years.
135.
He loved it. Oh, dear.
Chaney's absolutely blitzing this leg, though. Look at that. I mean, Gary's up for a bit of banter. He's been bantering at the Lakeside and at this championship
44.
for a period of nearly 20 years. He is now
46.
second in the all-time list when it comes to BDO World Championship appearances. He's on 19 now, but it's tops for Chaney.
Would have been an
26.
11-darter if that first dart at tops had gone in. And he's going to be back anyway for 20. But you never know. You've got to make sure that you're somewhere handy. That's excellent darts, because he knows that now that if Chaney misses, and the last time he did that, he put him under pressure. He got a 140, if you remember, and he put him under pressure, and then he came back and he won the leg from nowhere, just like this one possibly. 17 and tops. Oh, you can't afford to miss that. No, he knows it.
That was an adrenaline dart.
50.
It was left and it was way high.
20.
If it was a centimetre to the right, it would have busted his score. Chaney, second down and 20. Gets there with a lovely deflection in off the post, that one. And it's 2-1 to Chaney in a set that he must win to keep this match alive.
Well, I think the right man won that leg, because he was on an 11-darter, if I can put it that way, and he managed to get home in the end in rather more. But half a dozen 180s there. We've yet to reach half a dozen in this game, but it's a cracking match, it really is. Very little to choose between them, and that could be reflected in the score soon, as Chaney wants this to make it 2 sets to 1.
Has Joe Chaney stopped the momentum of Ben Hazel? Has the break in this match come at the wrong time? Looks to me like Chaney's getting comfortable. He's getting the recliner out.
2-2-1, 100 and 180 puts him in firm control here of this. If he wins this leg, it'll be the only leg in this set to go with throw, as against earlier in the game. This is an absolutely fantastic leg, just like the previous one. Nico, he's left himself 81 after 9 darts. Previously, he'd left himself on 46 after 9 darts.
Yeah, he's finding his mojo on that treble 20, isn't he? Oh, look at that. Dare at the darts on it Sunday afternoon, but it's 36 for Chaney for 12 darts. And the set, Joe Chaney has really turned up in set 3, and Ben Hazel has got questions to answer.
Well, he's just put together a little surge of legs. 2 wonderful legs. And now 2 sets to 1 up is the Englishman, rather than away and gone as the victor, because Chaney there was nothing short of brilliant.
Next game this afternoon after this one will be Eileen de Graaf of the Netherlands against Kirsty Hutchinson of England, making her Ladies World Championship debut.
Yes, it'll be the first time that I will have commentated on Kirsty Hutchinson. I've commentated on many games that Eileen de Graaf has played, and she's an exceptional performer. She really is a very good player.
Yeah, prolific winner on the circuit for years now. Kirsty only just starting to get into the winner's circle herself, but her action is known as quite graceful, let's put it that way.
Nicely put. Back to the present. Oh, he threw himself into that. He was putting the shot there, I think, and he probably got a world record, if the truth be known, the amount he put into it, but it was a mistimed release.
He might not mind hitting the 5, because it took the odd 5 off the end of his score, so now he can stay straight and leave a double. Now, can he stay straight? Beautifully done. Oh, really nice.
140.
He's got into the meat of the game. He's a case of needs must for him when he was 2 sets to 0 down. And to be honest, Hazel hasn't done a lot wrong. He's not done a lot differently than what he did earlier in the game. It's just that Chaney has upped the ante. And Hazel is hanging on in there in this particular. He wants tops there for double 10.
70.
Well, in a flash, I didn't really think he was going to go for bull tops. It was somewhat overconfident to go that way. But Ben Hazel's not going to take the 145. So Joe Chaney's going to come back for double 10. Pretty familiar territory.
90.
Yeah, he got the bull himself there, Hazel, but maybe too little too late as he's going for this 20, which served him well last time he needed it. He got it, didn't he? And he's done it again. And he's certainly on a roll. He's won 4 of the last 5 legs, having been second best throughout the first 2 sets. He's turning it round.
Yeah, he's like bacon on a Sunday morning at the minute, John. He's on a roll.
No egg on his face yet, then.
Not yet.
The sauce, I don't know.
That's another argument for another day, whether you go brown or red. But right now, the guys are searching for red sauce.
45.
Yeah, dead right.
Right in the ketchup for Chaney there. And how does Ben Hazel react to this charge from Joe Chaney? He knows that he's coming for him, and he's not far from equalising that set column. All of a sudden, the 60s that were being hit earlier are 55. Now treble 5s and big 20s.
And that, of course, is what pressure can do. I do believe it's an overused word. I once mentioned pressure to a player, and he said, I've never felt pressure in my life because I'm doing what I enjoy for a living, win or lose. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, there are different types of pressure in life.
Yes.
This is pure sporting pressure and desire to win. I'm just trying to figure out, Gwynny. He has got an odd stem out of the 3, has Joe Chaney. One of them is white, the other 2 are black. And I'm wondering whether they're the same structure, because I can see a seam or an indentation in the white one, but in the black ones I can't. I can't imagine it's a different type of stem.
And it'll be interesting to see if 58. He throws that white one at a particular phase, at a particular stage, whether it's the first, second or third dart. It's the second dart in his throw there. I haven't noticed it before, but well pointed out. It'll be interesting to see if it's consistently the second dart he throws. Anyway, wants another one of those. Oh, that's so unlucky. That, and he knows. I like his reaction because he knows that's 80. Part of the game of darts. But he also knows that instead of having a go at double 16, he may well find himself 2 legs to 0 down. This double 10 has been kind to the American. It's kind again. He's doing what I've always said. Ronnie Baxter, James Wade, hardly ever missed double 10. If they missed a double top, hardly ever missed double 10. And Chaney's been like that in the last 20 minutes. 3 times he's hit it.
100.
Yeah, well said, John. I've always said, as a player and as a darts coach, that if you have a preferred double, whether it's double 16 or double top, you've got to be good on the next one as well. You've got to be good 45. On 10s, you've got to be good on 8s, particularly double 4, sometimes with your last dart. Don't just have one favourite double, have at least 2.
What was yours, by the way, or still is?
Whatever the one that I was hitting at the time. Mostly double 6. Double 16 was very, very kind to me. Did like the bullseye, though, at times. Very, very good bullseye checker sometimes. Someone said that I'm their world champion. Well, that's the wrong information they've got right there. That's fake news.
46.
Still unfazed, still looking reasonably cool. I think his cheeks are a little bit rosier than they were earlier in the match, but no sign of Hazel submitting at any stage.
It's just a sign of things getting a little hotter up there. And Chaney on that last star had to stay on the 20s. He couldn't afford to switch anywhere around the board. But Hazel starting to knit those darts together perfectly. That 140 will do. He still has to rely on a Chaney miss.
Well, 120, this was what Wayne Warren hit to win his game not all that long ago. And it wins the set.
Fifth final set.
But this is the biggest set of darts certainly that this young fella's played in his life, and possibly Chaney too. And if it does go 2 apiece, then of course it has to be won by 2 clear legs. And I would say, Paul, that's the case anyway from 1 apiece, because you've still got to win by 2 clear legs in order for it not to become 2 apiece.
Yeah, too true.
Yeah. Anyway,
41.
whatever.
Well, fascinatingly, Joe Chaney starts that leg on 19s. Any reasoning in that for you, John?
Can't think for a moment why. And 41 is not the sort of start that he was looking 93. For, and it's well punished by that last dart. It may only be a lead of 52, but that can be the difference between getting a shot at the end of the leg and not.
Yeah, it could be.
60.
Well, Matt Smith, our presenter, mentioned at the top of the show that Joe is no relation to that of former Vice President Dick Chaney, but they know both of those guys about a shoot or two.
Yeah,
that's what they call them in the States. It's not a tournament, it's a shoot.
That's right, that's right. A good old friend of mine, Bill Brennan, who was at Manchester University many years ago when I was young myself, and they had Roman numerals round the dartboard when I was young, Paul. He used to call it shoot. You fancy a shoot? And yeah, Chaney, spelled a different way. I think Dick Chaney was C-H-E-N-E-Y, but pronounced the same, obviously.
41.
Yeah, that little bit of an accent you heard on that yelp from Joe Chaney there, and Hazel has now got 6 darts from 147. He would love a treble just to give himself a little bit more breathing room, but he's going to have to settle for a treble-less visit to leave himself on 90. Like we mentioned at the first break about Ben Hazel,
85.
maybe that break came at the wrong time. Well, the break definitely came at the wrong time for Joe Chaney when he was on the charge. Double 18 to take the first leg, the Englishman, and he's perfectly executed that. Wonderful start to this last set.
And he needed that for more than one reason. He hadn't won a leg in the last 6. So it's a nice feeling as well to get back with your fans cheering you instead of sitting silently. And it looks to me as though he's back
85
in a meaningful way.
Got plenty of fans here today, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Ben Hazel.
Well, he will have, as you said, it's what, an hour down the road, if that? Probably about an hour, I would have thought, to Stevenage.
Yeah, we had confirmation in the break on social media that Joe Chaney stems are the same structure, they're just a different colour.
140.
I always think the 5th set, the final set, if it goes that way, is like the final set.
28.
Sudden death. Because every dart really does matter.
I was talking to our presenter last night, Georgie Bingham, about the one-leg shootout or sudden death vernacular. And 58. I said it just sounds a bit morbid. Well, she came up with the idea of calling it the super leg, which I love.
It's good, yeah. Not that super when you're losing, though, is it? It is the sudden death.
Don't talk about the word super with the Kiwis when it comes to cricket. Well, Hazel, steady turn to leave 118. I would have been an advocate for maybe switching to the 18s there, but that's still fine. Has to get 2 trebles to set up the double, does Chaney, and that one's just skewed away to the right. But a lovely recovery.
37.
Yeah, what a visit to leave 36 And now 118. This would be the deadliest checkout of the whole game if he were to get it. Not the biggest by any means, but he's not going to anyway. And so, double 18. Yep.
Yes, that's game shot on
Right in the middle of the plate. 1-all last set.
Game on.
I also had some tweets in the break from some of my American friends who were borderline offended that I praised Tennessee barbecue and didn't even mention Texas barbecue. Well, I'm not even going to mention that Missouri barbecue is probably better than both of them.
Oh, what a good last start as well. Great last start. Really on the edge now of the seats as nobody knows who's going to win this one, but Hazel playing now like he was at the beginning of this match with a good deal more authority. As I said earlier, I don't think he'd done a lot wrong. Chaney up the ante, threw brilliantly for a couple of sets, got himself back in the match, and now it's all on this one, and almost inexorably going towards the tie break.
60.
Stayed very straight in this leg so far, has Ben Hazel. He's trying to do what Wayne Warren did at the end of his match and just up the ante on the scoring department.
99.
Good tactics from Joe Chaney there to try and leave a finish. He's just come up a bit short, so Hazel is still in control. But that straight nature has someone now been rescued after that second dart, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's where a 140 now. A 125 now would be absolutely fantastic.
135.
135, I mean, yeah. That really does make this a either or kind of leg.
Oh, the treble 18 short. You can see from the shallow
58.
expression there that not giving much away, but you could just see his disappointment in that treble 18 effort. He's got double top for the third leg, and he's only just underneath, and Hazel dodges one.
Yeah, Hazel wants 48 to take a 2-1 lead in this decisive set. He's got to finish it off this go. He wants tops himself now. Oh, what a marker, what a marker. Surely, surely he can make it pay. Oh, it's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible.
He said it. He said, wow. He's not going to say wow if double 10 goes in, and it has. Joe Chaney takes a 2 legs to 1 advantage
Fourth leg, and it's Joe to throw first.
in this final set. And right now, he only needs 1 leg to have the comeback of comebacks from 2 sets to love down.
And in the end, Mr. Nicholson, this wonderful game of darts might come down to that visit. Right on the wire twice. But
sometimes you lose darts matches from playing poorly. Ben Hazel has not played poorly at all. Joe Chaney has just found more chances in the last 2 and a bit sets, and all he needs right now is 1 more chance.
58.
Only 58 from him to leave 383. Ben Hazel on 441.
he's got to dig deep now, find the big score. Needs another one of those here. Oh, brilliant, lad. Brilliant, brilliant darts. Still alive.
301 for Ben Hazel.
58.
Only 58 from Chaney, leaves him on 325. So Ben Hazel has taken the darts away from the American. That 5 will not help him, but a great switch. Skin-saving stuff
81.
You're right.
from Ben Hazel to leave 220.
And this man going on 325, as you can see there on the stage. The scores that they can see. And
94.
220 for Ben Hazel. This is where you want a 180, Nicole,
It
to
is.
leave yourself tops.
Very much so. Straight ton has to be the minimum. He gets the 140 bonus to leave 80. Really Really well done from Ben Hazel. 231 for Joe Chaney, and he's missed the board.
Goodness me.
That had to slip out of his hands. He was looking at the treble 19.
80.
Now 80. What a character. What great character he has shown in this leg. Absolutely brilliant. Wants tops to win it against the throw. To make it 2-all and 2-all. He'll be back possibly, but 151, not having hit a three-figure score in this leg would really be gross. Gross.
It's not going to go.
Thankfully, from Ben Hazel's point of view.
Ben, you require 20.
It's double 10 for Ben Hazel. Look at that exhalation. Just taking an extra moment to go to the tiebreaker. It's double 10. 2 5s for 2-2. Oh, really good dart from Ben Hazel. And it is a Desmond game. 2-2 in sets and 2-2 in legs.
Whilst the game stands at 2
And this lad in this set has shown that in addition...
Unless it reaches 5 legs apiece, and then there will be a sudden death leg.
In addition to being such a wonderful player, that he has the character to go with it as well.
He's shown a little bit of emotion over the course of the last couple of legs, Ben Hazel, but not too much.
43.
He's playing within himself, and I like that. Just learning about how good his game is under this kind of pressure every single throw.
96.
A fascinating encounter. More swings than a golf tournament.
You know, Chaney hasn't... He's 44, but he didn't start playing darts till he was 28.
140.
My. He's certainly making a name for himself here on this stage. Been brilliant today, 55. But now it's just beginning to fail him. And Hazel here can take a lead. 3-2 ahead in legs in this deciding set. But he won't have won the match by any means.
Oh, what a great last dart. That just keeps him 2 trebles ahead, Ben Hazel. Trying to hold throw and then mount a charge on the Chaney throw next time out. Ton from Chaney isn't quite enough, but it might be if Hazel makes mistakes.
He's not going to make mistakes. His time of making mistakes is behind him, methinks.
Every time he's been on an odd number, he has used other parts of the board to take the odd number away. And that's just really good use of the dartboard. 1-3-4 then to take the lead in the final set. Can't possibly go 2 double tops, surely. Oh, audacious.
94.
But cautious as well with that last dart.
I wasn't convinced, although he was going for the double top, he was making sure that at least he scored. 90 left for Chaney. 40 left for Hazel.
40.
For a 3-2 lead. On his throw, though. And he's there at 3-2, 1 away from victory. He's had to fight back.
Game on.
And fight back with everything he's been able to throw.
We just had a little wave in the crowd there from Wayne Warren's daughter.
66.
Not being as volumized as she was in the previous game. Arguably the loudest fan in darts.
That's the first time in this match that Ben Hazel has won 2 legs on the trot
60.
Since the second set, when he lost the first leg but came back with 3 on the trot.
Isn't that what makes set format just so intriguing?
100.
Yes, I prefer set play, although I do like match play. But once a player's 5 legs ahead in match play, it's hard to peg back. But in set play, it's so different.
Well, for me, this is the format.
45.
Set play, of course, and match play. That's what is predominantly played in the United Kingdom and most tournaments around the world. But as Chaney gets a 180, imagine playing this guy at a game of cricket on the dartboard. I bet he can score you out of that one. They're really good at that in the States.
Yeah, they are. That's 6 in the match, but 4 of them now have come Chaney's way.
44. Joe, you require 155.
60 for treble 19. He's not going to bother going for the outro. He's just trying to lay it up. I don't mind that play at all, but that second dart was a wide. 94 left.
79.
Well, that's not a disaster for him, 79 to leave 76. Hazel very nearly won a leg similar to this a little while back.
100.
But couldn't finish.
So you require 76.
And he's not going to get himself back into this leg, I suspect, as another double 18. And there it is, 3 legs all. And the game goes on.
Where's your money, Gwynny?
In my pocket, pal.
Very wise, very wise. I've got no idea who's winning this one. I've also had a tweet from a good friend of mine, Jared Cole, who's from the Hertfordshire area, who says hello to myself and to John Gwynn this afternoon and to everybody watching on Eurosport.
66.
Fine young player is Jared Cole. Big future ahead of him in this fabulous game.
Good.
60.
Only 60, but down to 301. If you get 140 and follow it up to 60, that's acceptable. Follow it up with 60. You want a ton, really, but he's going to get one here.
Might get more.
Yeah.
Now he's got to switch because that one is dangling. And I love the switch to the 17s there instead of the 19s. It's so prudent to do it right there because you get a 19, you don't leave a finish. You're so tempted naturally to go for the 19 switch, but tactically it's perfect to go for the 17s.
86.
And it's moments like that that make you realise how much he's in the game. He knows the game of darts inside out. 84 left.
100.
That'll do him. 140, 60, 137, 100. That's been his score in this leg.
The advantage of throw all of a sudden is massive.
44.
And Hazel keeps taking the lead, and he will again. 6 darts at 64. He will wish to only use 3. Double 16's been good to him.
32.
Yeah, I can see the marks that he's made, and I don't recall Joe Chaney hitting it, but he certainly hit that treble 20 a few times, and he's hit it 2 times more to just keep himself in contention. 84 he wants. Will he get a go? Hazel's had his practice at that. He's hit one of his previous. I think that was his very first one, right in the same place. And 4-3 to Hazel. Chaney to throw first. What a match this is.
That was a great dart. And
26.
great use of the zoom on the camera there because we got a really good view of the full double 16 and that puncture mark that Ben Hazel had left previously, and then it was plugged with that aggressive looking point on the end of these darts. Great switching.
34.
What a time to get a 1-3-4 start after your opponent has kicked off with 26. And what a time. I was going to say to get a 180, but 140 does help his cause. Absolutely spellbinding match, and they're all there watching this, just like Nico and I 59. Are, right on the edge of our seats. Good fun this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a great game. I really enjoyed the Ross Montgomery Thibaut Tricol game yesterday, which was enthralling, but this one for me has just been a bit more interesting. I can't really put my finger on it, but there's something about this game. I can't take my eyes off it.
No, you're right. 2-0 up this lad, even though there wasn't really that much between them. There's only one breaker throw in those first 2 sets, but he went 2-0 up, and then this fella, the 44-year-old from Tennessee, really came back strongly, showed lots of character. But I think Hazel now the one who's really holding sway and hammering home that advantage to some effect.
I wonder if Gary Robson's watching this game, Quinny. If Gary Robson's watching this, he's thinking, I'm going to have to get my game on, whoever I play it.
Exactly.
Oh, big slip from Chaney, though. Second dart drifts way southwest of the target. And now Hazel has got 110 for the match, and vitally,
Ben, you require 110.
Chaney can't get anywhere close to him.
Now he wants 90. Now he wants 72. Yeah, he can't quite see himself. You at home have got the best view of the television. That's a brilliant dart to leave 24. And Chaney to save his skin.
Well, he went for treble 18, treble 17 bull, which is baffling in this spot, because the only shot you need there is 60-57 for the 38 at the bottom of the board. It's just pure size and odds and probabilities. He played it wrong, he hasn't got the shot, and Hazel has got 3 match darts to play Robbo on Tuesday.
Mr. Ben can become one of the Mr. Men. Oh, this is like the 2 double tops from earlier when it was unbelievable and we thought he might lose the match. But he's not gonna lose the match.